Hey there, I'm Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach. Every week, I come into your life, live from the Greatness Factory, and I really got three objectives: to multiply your life, multiply your money, and multiply your business. We believe everybody needs a good coach in their life. We believe a good coach can change your entire life. And today's subject is a good one, and it's called Don't Give Up Before You Get There. How do you get on the pleasure side of your business versus the pain side of your business? My buddy Matt Monero talks about this. It took him 18 years to get to 18 million, I think, and less than 18 months to get to 100 million. But he now is on the pleasure side of his business. And that's what we're going to work on today, because Tommy Davidson said, man, very few people get to the other side. Most people spend a lot of time in this one area being frustrated. So today on Super Coach, I'm going to walk you through three important things you got to do to get out of the pain side of your business and get into the pleasure side of your business. And by all means, how never to give up before you get there. I'm Coach Michael Burt. You're watching Super Coach.
Everybody needs a coach in life. Coaching businesses and entrepreneurs like you to spike an additional 40% to your bottom line. Michael Burt is a multi-championship coach, best-selling author, trainer, motivator, and all-around super coach. Now, from the Greatness Factory Studios, this is Super Coach.
Welcome back to Super Coach. Not just any coach, you need a super coach in your life. A person who have conversations with you don't want to have, make you do some things you don't want to do, hopefully help you become something you did not think you could become. Let me give a shout out to some folks. Tom Love, what's up, big guy? Thank you for having such a great event with us down there with Brad Lee. I know you're headed to Vegas pretty soon. Candace Van Bieber, thank you for being such a loyal coaching client. Luke Frost, Thomas C. Davidson. Thomas C. Davidson was really the culprit behind this topic we're talking about today. Andrew and Luzmila Sanchez, love you guys. Great to see you last week. Dusty Wilkerson, Dale Childress, Kevin Brown. I know we're working on something with you. D. Hodges, my West Tennessee bandit. Christy Nicole, Cheryl Noakes, Chris Robinette. I can go on and on. Paul Martin Van Neville. Congratulations, Paul. Looks like you got a new addition to the family. I saw on Facebook there last week. Now, here's a tendency I see in a lot of people. And if there's anything that truly breaks my heart in the coaching business, is to see people start with good intention, fall off the wagon for whatever reason, and then feel guilty about falling off the wagon, okay? This actually came from a book called The Purpose-Driven Life. Rick Warren, when he wrote The Purpose-Driven Life, it was selling 1 million copies a month. That is unheard of. 90% of all books never sell more than 5,000 copies. The Purpose-Driven Life was number two, the number 2 best-selling book ever outside of the Bible. And he talked about a cycle in there of people that started with good intention. They failed to follow through, right? They gave up before they got there. And then they experienced guilt. Now, I want to combo that with the book that Bronnie Ware wrote, The 5 Regrets of the Dying. You know, she said that she spent the last 12 weeks with people in the last 12 weeks of their life, both male and female, and they all had certain regrets. I think one of the greatest regrets that a person has is, I could have, I should have, I was capable of, but I did not. Like I was talented enough to do this, but I didn't do it. And so when you're thinking about this, many of you that are in something, I want you to understand the percentages of starting and seeing something through to its logical completion, because when I look at something, I look at mastery. Mastery is typically 10,000 hours of practice, which equates, Andrew Sanderson, to 10 years. Okay? 10,000 hours of practice typically is 10 years of something. When you see a person that has mastered something, they make it look easy. The reason they make it look easy is because they've been doing it so many times. So what do most people do? They never master anything because they start, they quit. They start, they quit. They start, it gets tough. The statistics are telling me the average 20 to 30-year-old is changing jobs 24 to 37 times. Okay? Here's what happens. They get on the bus, they don't like it, they quit. They get on the bus, they don't like it, they quit. They get on the bus, they don't like it, they quit. So here's the deal. How good can you be when you constantly quit something? Now, the percentages that I look at are this. For every 30 people you talk to, only 4.8 of those people are going to be interested in what you have. For every 350 people you spend time with, only 52.8. So what happens if you make 3 phone calls this morning and it don't work? And you start and you quit. Anything in your life, you have got to understand this concept of long obedience in the same direction. And that was a Christian book written by Eugene Peterson, who was a pastor. And he used to talk about trying to get people to commit to come to church every week. And they gave him, he said, for every excuse I overcame, they came up with 2 more excuses. And so when you think about this, he wrote this book called Long Obedience in the Same Direction, because here's the deal. Some of us give up before we get there. Like we're just now starting to become good. We're just now starting to become world class. We're just now starting. So I want you to associate your business with, there's typically a lot of pain associated with running a small business. There's time away from your family. There's sales jobs you got to do. There's follow-up. There's customer issues. There's accounting issues. For a lot of business owners, they associate running their business with pain. It creates enormous amount of anxiety and stress. Taxes, marriages, taxes. I mean, right? So how do you get to the pleasure side? Like we see people that have done this, right? Like last weekend at the Big Easy, I spent time with Dr. Steve Hotze. The average net worth of some of the people there was $50 million. They were having fun. They were relaxing. Their businesses have made them incredibly wealthy. They were giving back. I mean, it was just, they have reached the pleasure side of their business. They're no longer in the pain side. But what happens? Let's look at the stats. Most small businesses fail in the first 5 years. If they don't fail in the first 5, they fail in the second 5. And I think it's because the business breaks the heart of the owner. They go home too many nights and they have a broken heart, or they have a crushed spirit. They get treated poorly by people. And so what happens is they end up starting with good intention, then they end up falling off the wagon. I see Tommy Santel on there, Tammy Young, Brad. What's up, big guy? Good to see you, Brad. So if you're in the pain side of your business right now, know this. The pleasure side is coming. The pleasure side is coming. Okay, I want to show you how to do that in segment number 2. I want to show you how to get your revenue up, how to reinvest in your company, how to build a team, how to play in your unique ability, and how to really master 5 big things to get this thing rolling at a very high level. And eventually this business is going to serve your life versus run your life. And that's where we all want to get to. You're watching Super Coach. I'm Coach Michael Burt. Hi, I'm Coach Michael Burt, and we created a concept called the Greatness Factory for Kids, a Monster Kids division of Michael Burt Enterprises. And the reason we did that is because we know what adults don't have today that we want to solve in children for tomorrow. What if you could future-proof your child from failing? What if you could teach them a competitive intelligence to thrive in a modern and competitive world? What if you could teach them confidence and how to walk into a room and how to bounce back when they get knocked down and how to work interdependent with other people and how to come with batteries included? See, we want to future-proof kids from winning. Go to greatnessfactoryforkids.com and learn more about what we're doing to build monster kids. Welcome back to Super Coach. Don't give up before you get there. Now, went down to Orlando, Florida this weekend, pushing the Kids Academy, the Monster Kids Academy, extremely excited about that. Got down there, figured out what's going on, figured out where we can go to find the money, figured out how we can help the teachers, the administrators. But what if I went down there on the very first time and I didn't get the results that I wanted and I gave up? Okay, I gave up. I never got to the other side. Now, I go back to a formula that I use. Have I had revelation? That's some big aha moment. Do I have conviction? And am I willing to take action? See, if you're not willing to go more than one time, Kevin Brown, if you're not willing to go more, then you haven't gone through the cycle of revelation, conviction, and action. So this is what I want you to understand. To get to the other side, it ain't going to be easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Okay, I saw Matt Monero post something the other day. The only people that making easy money never come before making hard money. But you got this wrong if you think you're going to come out of the gates and make easy money. Making easy money never comes before making the hard money, right? So I'm in my 11th year of running this business, and what I used to do as a women's basketball coach is every year at the end of the year I would go away. I would go on some sabbatical. I would think about the year. I would ask myself, do I want to come back and do this again? Do I have the drive? Do I have the energy? Do I have the passion? Like, do I want it, right? And when I didn't win a championship, it was like, man, I don't want to give up until I get there. Like the sole purpose is to win the championship, right? The sole purpose of the business. So in your business, if you're trying to get to this pleasure side, here's what you can't give up on. Number one, here's the model. Number one, we have to drive more revenue, which is why you have to become good at your explanation of services. You have to become good at working the selling system. You have to become good at your follow-up. You have to become good at extracting referrals, and you have to be good at becoming a person of interest. I don't care what business you're in. These are areas you got to get better at. Every business has to drive revenue in the door. Every business has to have a selling system, a follow-up, extraction of referrals. Every business, okay? If you don't have one of these things, you're never going to drive enough revenue. Because you don't have enough revenue, you don't have any excess cash. Because you don't have any excess cash, you can't reinvest in anything, okay? Now, as you start to reinvest, you're going to start to build a team. Now, here's the objective of the team. The objective of the team is to help you perform in your unique ability area. The purpose of the team is to put every single team member in an area where you are in your strength zone. So I tell my team there's 3 things I need to be doing. I need to be creating incredible content that changes people's lives. I need to be delivering incredible content, and I need to be promoting that content like crazy. I don't need to be doing anything else. Okay, if I had to add one more thing, I need to be coaching my team better, and I need to be enhancing their abilities. So the whole concept of the other side is I have to get this structure up and going. Now, I was coached by Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan used to have a concept called 10 times, and everything we did was structurally. Like to get my business 10 times bigger than it is today, I have to have the structures in place to do it. Okay? And so what are my structures? EOS, selling system, follow-up, extraction of referrals, person of interest. These are the 5 big structures that I'm coaching people on. Now, when you have this concept going, what's going to happen is you should begin to sell. Okay, remember our numbers. For every 30 people we talk to, only 4.8 are going to be interested. Then a percentage of those are going to hear it 3 to 7 times. Then a percentage is going to have to hear it 7 to 15 times. Then there's a percentage that's got to hear it that are never going to hear it. We have to go through so much volume, guys. We have to go through so much volume to hit our sales numbers so that we have enough money to reinvest in the company so we can begin to build the infrastructure of this business. Now, when I started this business, I drove the bus, I coached the teams, I did everything, okay? I didn't have a team, I didn't have an assistant. So I hear people say this all the time. Well, my business creates so much stress for me. I could never hire an assistant. Yeah, you're never going to hire an assistant thinking like this. Every big star was once a little star that wanted to be big. You first have to get out there and create enough revenue to have some excess cash. Once you have excess cash, you can then reinvest it in the business. And then you can start building your little divisions of your company. And you got a sales side and you got a service side, right? And when you think about one of the biggest missing structures I see for most people is truly their marketing. They're deficient in their marketing. They're incredibly talented, but incredibly deficient in pushing their message to the universe. And this is an area we're constantly working on. Like, why am I doing podcasts? Why am I doing speaking engagements? Why am I doing strategic partnerships? Why am I doing retreats? Why am I doing Instagram pushes? Why am I doing all these things? Is to become known in the world, because I can't help you if you don't know who I am, okay? Today we're talking how not to give up till you get to the other side. Don't give up before you get there. Too many people, Andy Warner, what's up? Tim Spears, Darvin Gill, too many people give up before they get there, man. Too many people give up before they get there. They don't have this long obedience in the same direction. They don't have the muscle of mastery. They don't have the muscle memory. In the sports world, you know why we took 500 shots a day? Because as my buddy Tim Grover says, pressure is a privilege, number one. And if you have to think during pressure, it's a liability. Thinking during pressure situations is a total liability. When you come back, final segment, okay, I'm going to show you how to get to the other side without killing yourself, how to build this business in such a way that you don't give up before you get there. You're watching Super Coach. I got one more segment. I'm Coach Michael Burt. Hey guys, my new book, Inside the Mind of a Monster, is really high performance habits of some of the best people that I've coached. But more importantly, it gives you a step-by-step blueprint of how to be a monster producer, how to produce at the highest frequency, how to produce at the highest level. I'll walk you step by step how to explain the services, how to work the selling system, how to follow up, how to generate referrals, how to become a person of interest. Ultimately, how to build a monster enterprise That's the purpose of the new book, Inside the Mind of a Monster, because I want to go inside the mind of the people who produce at the highest frequency, and I want to show you how to do it. You can pick up a copy of that book at CoachBert.com. Welcome back to Super Coach. You can get this on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podcast Republic, Google Play, anywhere good podcasts are found. Download it, listen to it. I try to update it every week. You can also check out some of my other podcasts, Living with the Monster with me and Natalie Burt. You can check out Person of Interest, which is me interviewing some of the top people in the world. And you can check out Monster Producer, which is where I break down big concepts for my coaching program every month. If you're not a monster producer, guys, we believe everybody needs a coach. We believe when you're with a coach in a dynamic setting, you're producing at a much higher frequency. Just know this, people that have a coach always outperform people that don't have a coach, okay? That's the sale I would make to you. So if you're interested in coming to a one-day event, Person of Interest, Lakin, if you'll post Person of Interest link in here, I'm doing Person of Interest, which is one of my biggest concepts that I've ever written about, how you become the known quantity. How do you become the buyer versus the seller? How do you build your business versus having to chase leads? How do you, like this is a huge concept, and I'm teaching it April 24th, which is coming up in about a month, at the New Lodge out in Christiana. You don't want to miss that. Just click on the link, get yourself out there, become a person of interest. Because part of becoming a person of interest is really the stick-to-itiveness and the resilience factor it takes to get to the other side. When you see big-time people, they've gone through the battles. They got the battle scars. They've had the knockdowns and the breakdowns. They have stayed true to the course. They've stayed focused. They've seen something through to its logical conclusion. If you could teach your kid one thing, wouldn't you want your kid to know this? Wouldn't you want your kid to know how to get back up when they've been knocked down? Wouldn't you want your kid to see something through to its logical conclusion? Wouldn't you want your kid to learn how to get to the other side? Like, this is where that long obedience comes in. So let me close with this. Part of our problem with our frustration, with our businesses that we believe create so much pain in our lives is the way we're measuring success. You really have a measurement problem. You see, the way we measure success is where we are today versus where we think we should be. We're here. We think we should be here. The gap in between those two things creates frustration. Why am I not here? Why am I not producing? Why am I not on their level? We spend a lot of time comparing ourselves to other people. The way you should be looking at success is where you used to be versus where you are today. I used to be here. Here's where I'm at today. I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. Every day in every way I'm making progress. I'm better today than I was yesterday. Now, when you begin to think like this, your frustration is going to go down because you're going to operate from a mindset of gratitude versus a mindset of frustration. See, here's the concept. Don't give up before you get there. Well, let me tell you this. Look at where you were 5 years ago. Look at where you were 3 months ago. You're making progress, man. What you should be measuring is progress, not perfection. The worst thing in the world is measuring everything versus perfection. That keeps you in a completely frustrated state. So let me close the show by saying this. Many of you are in pursuit of something, and there's 4 desires: to win something, retrieve something, escape something, or stop something. You're in pursuit of doing something. Like, I'm in pursuit of going from a baby star to a big star, from being a local, regional, super regional person to being a national and international person. Okay, I'm in pursuit of something. Okay, now it's going to feel like I haven't made it, but it's all relative. To the person that's just getting started, that hadn't written one book, that wants to write books and speak for a living, to them I have made it. To a person like me that's made it to a certain level and wants to get to another level, it looks like I haven't made it. It's all relative, okay? So the question, I wanted to write a book once like how do you know when you made it? Is it a dollar number? Is it a success factor? Is it a happiness number? Like, in the mind of some people, you have made it. They're looking at you as the role model. They're looking at you as the person who has mastered this. Like, you're in the big leagues, right? That's what they're looking at with you. You may be thinking, man, I'm in the small leagues, but here's what I would tell you. Long obedience in the same direction, 10,000 hours of practice, you're never going to know if you quit. I think about the year I won a championship. The year before I won a championship, we got beat very badly in a sub-state game, and I was so distraught. I was so brokenhearted. I was so disappointed. And I thought that was it, man. I missed my chance. This is it. I'm never going to win a championship. All this hard work for nothing. And what I've learned to understand is we needed to get beat that badly to have the preparation, to have the fuel we needed to come back the next year and win a championship. What if I had given up before I got there? What if I had given up before I stood in the middle of that floor in front of 10,000 people and was the best team in Tennessee? Like, what kind of regret would I have if I gave up before I got there? Okay? Same thing is true of your business, guys. You can't start with good intention and fall off the wagon and then experience this guilt. Every week I come to you, multiply life, money, business. I'm Coach Michael Burt. You know what I believe? I believe everybody needs a good coach in their life. Thank you this week for letting me be yours.